In the shadowed annals of history, where ambition clashes with destiny, the tale of Alexander the Great unfolds like a tapestry woven from threads of glory, revenge, and unquenchable fire. Born in 356 BC in the rugged hills of Macedon, Alexander was no ordinary king. Tutored by the philosopher Aristotle, he inherited a throne from his father, Philip II, and transformed a small kingdom into an empire that stretched from the sun-baked shores of Greece to the distant rivers of India. But it was in the heart of the Persian Empire, amid the opulent palaces of Persepolis, that his legacy would be forever etched in ash and flame. This is the story of why Alexander attacked and burned that magnificent city, a narrative not just of conquest, but of the human soul's darker impulses, where retribution masquerades as justice, and a single spark can ignite the fall of civilizations. Our story begins in the turbulent era of the Greco-Persian Wars, a century before Alexander's birth. In 480 BC, the mighty Persian king Xerxes led an invasion force across the Hellespont, sweeping through Greece like a storm from the east. Athens, the cradle of democracy and philosophy, fell to his armies. The Persians sacked the city, torching the sacred Acropolis and its temples, leaving behind ruins that symbolized Greek humiliation. The smoke from those fires lingered in the collective memory of the Hellenes, a bitter reminder of Persian arrogance and the fragility of freedom. Generations later, this wound festered, fueling a desire for payback that would echo through the ages. Fast forward to 336 BC. Philip II is assassinated, and his 20-year-old son ascends the throne. Alexander, with his piercing eyes and unyielding will, vows to fulfill his father's dream, the conquest of Persia. But Alexander's motivations run deeper. He sees himself as the avenger of Greece, the instrument of the gods to punish the Persians for their ancient crimes. Rallying the Macedonian phalanx, those iron-disciplined soldiers armed with sarissas, long spears that formed an impenetrable wall, he crosses into Asia Minor in 334 BC. The battles that follow are legendary. Granicus, where he shatters the Persian satraps, Issus, where he defeats Darius III himself, and Tyre, the island fortress that falls after a grueling siege. As Alexander pushes deeper into the Persian heartland, his army swells with ambition and loot. By 331 BC, he crushes Darius at Gaugamela, a masterful display of tactics where his companion cavalry outflanks the vast Persian host. Darius flees, abandoning his family to Alexander's mercy, a mercy the young king extends, treating the Persian royals with unexpected chivalry. But mercy has its limits. With Darius on the run, Alexander turns his gaze to the symbolic core of the empire, Persepolis, the ceremonial capital built by Darius I and Xerxes, a marvel of architecture rising from the Iranian plateau like a crown of stone and gold. Persepolis was no mere city. It was the embodiment of Achaemenid grandeur. Founded around 515 BC, it sprawled across terraces carved into the mountains, adorned with colossal gateways guarded by lamassu, winged bulls with human heads, and palaces like the Apadana, where kings received tribute from across the known world. Reliefs depicted processions of subjects from Egypt to India, bearing gifts of ivory, spices, and precious metals. The treasury housed unimaginable wealth, gold darics, silver ingots, and artifacts from conquered lands. To the Persians, it was the seat of their divine kingship, a place where the god Ahura Mazda watched over the empire's eternal order. To the Greeks, it represented the oppressor, the source of the invasions that had scarred their homeland. Alexander arrives at Persepolis in January 330 BC. After a grueling march through the Persian gates, a narrow pass defended fiercely by Ariobarzanes. His forces breached the defenses, slaughtering the garrison and opening the way to the undefended city. The Macedonians, battle-hardened and weary, gaze upon the splendor with a mix of awe and greed. Alexander, ever the strategist, orders the looting to begin. For months, his troops ransacked the palaces, carting away treasures that would fill 10,000 mules and 5,000 camels. This was no impulsive raid, it was calculated. Alexander needed to pay his soldiers, whose loyalty depended on the spoils of war. The wealth of Persepolis funded his ongoing campaigns, ensuring his army's morale amid the endless horizons of Asia. But why burn it? Why not preserve this jewel as a trophy, a testament to his conquest? The ancient sources, Arrian, Plutarch, Diodorus Siculus, offer conflicting accounts, each layer adding complexity to the enigma. Arrian, drawing from Ptolemy and Aristobulus, portrays the destruction as a deliberate act of policy, revenge for the burning of Athens. Alexander, in this view, styles himself as the Pan-Hellenic Avenger, fulfilling the propaganda of his campaign. By torching Persepolis, he signals the end of Persian dominance, a symbolic erasure of the empire that had dared to invade Greece. It's a message to his Greek allies. The debt is paid, the cycle of vengeance complete. Yet, other chroniclers whisper of a more chaotic night. Plutarch recounts a banquet in the palace, where wine flows like the Euphrates and revelry turns wild. Amid the festivities, Thais, an Athenian courtesan and companion of Ptolemy, rises, her voice cutting through the din. She urges Alexander to let the women of the camp lead a torchlight procession to burn the palace, avenging the Persian desecration of Greek temples. Intoxicated by victory and vintage, Alexander seizes a torch, leading the charge himself. The flames leap from hall to hall, consuming cedar beams, tapestries, and thrones. Diodorus adds vivid detail. The fire starts in the palace of Xerxes, the very king who had ordered Athens' destruction, as if fate itself guided the blaze. Was it revenge or recklessness? Modern historians debate. Some, like Eugene Borza, suggest a mix, policy wrapped in perversity, where Alexander's youthful impetuosity overrides prudence. He had already captured Susa and Pasargadae without such destruction. Why Persepolis? Perhaps it was a calculated insult to the Persian nobility, breaking their spirit and preventing rebellion. By destroying their ceremonial heart, Alexander asserts that the old order is gone, paving the way for his vision of a fused Greco-Persian empire. Yet, there's evidence of regret. Arrian notes that Alexander later lamented the act, seeing it as beneath a great conqueror. Imagine the scene that fateful night. The air is thick with the scent of incense and roasted meats. Alexander, clad in a purple chlamys blending Greek and Persian styles, reclines on a couch in the vast Apollona hall. His generals, Hephaestion, Craterus, Parmenion, toast to victories past and future. The captured Persian eunuchs and concubines serve silently, their eyes downcast. Laughter echoes off the walls carved with images of lions and immortals. Thais, her beauty illuminated by flickering lamps, stands and speaks. Let us repay the Persians for what they did to Athens. Let the flames of Persepolis light the way for Greek justice. Alexander's face hardens, memories flooding back, of tales from his tutors about Xerxes' hubris, the burning Parthenon, the exiled Athenians. He grabs a torch from a nearby brazier, his voice booming. For Hellas. The mob surges forward, torches multiplying like stars in the night sky. They pile furniture and draperies in the halls, dousing them with oil. The first flames crackle, then roar, devouring the wooden roofs and spreading to the stone structures. Smoke billows into the starry Persian sky, visible for miles. The city's inhabitants, already subdued, watch in horror as their heritage crumbles. The fire rages for days, melting gold ornaments and charring the bas-reliefs. Archaeological evidence confirms the inferno: charred timbers, vitrified stones, and ash layers unearthed in the 20th century. Alexander's army, laden with treasure, marches on, pursuing Darius to his death in the Bactrian wilds. But the burning haunts him. In later years, as he adopts Persian customs, wearing the diadem, proskynesis, he seeks to reconcile the cultures he once sought to destroy. Persepolis becomes a ruin, a ghost city preserved by the arid climate, its silent stones whispering of empire's fragility. Why did he do it? Revenge, yes, the primal urge to strike back at an ancient foe. But also politics, to demoralize the Persians and reward his troops. And perhaps, in that drunken haze, a moment of human folly, where the godlike king reveals his mortality. Alexander's empire fractures after his death in 323 BC, but the ashes of Persepolis endure as a testament to the costs of conquest. In the end, the flames that consumed the city illuminated not just vengeance, but the eternal dance of power and destruction that defines our world.